So, you're an Indian student and you're aiming to study in Germany for the 2026 or 2027 intake? Well, you've come to the perfect place. We're about to break down everything you need to know into a super simple step-by-step checklist. This is all about turning that dream into a reality. Okay, let's just jump right in. Here's what we've got on tap. First, we'll look at why Germany is such a hotspot for Indian students right now. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, your exact application timeline, and we'll help you decide between the winter and summer intakes. After that, we'll cover some really crucial tips to make your application pop. And finally, we'll talk about the really exciting part, what life looks like after you've got that degree in hand.
All right, first things first, let's talk about this incredible boom. Seriously, the number of Indian students heading to Germany is just massive. This isn't some small trend, it's a huge shift. And hey, if you're watching this, you're probably thinking about joining them. So let's get into the reasons why. Just look at this number for a second. We're talking about nearly 60,000 Indian students enrolled in Germany as of the last winter semester. You know what that means? It means India is the #1 source of international students for Germany. So you're not just picking some random option. You're joining a massive, and I mean thriving community. So, what's driving that huge number? Well, here are the big reasons. The absolute game changer, of course, is that most public universities are tuition-free. That's huge. Then, you've got hundreds of programs taught completely in English, so the language barrier isn't what it used to be. On top of that, Germany is desperate for graduates in STEM and business, and you can work up to 20 hours a week while you study. It's the whole package, really. Okay, time to get practical. Let's talk about your timeline. I can't stress this enough. Planning is everything. These are the dates you absolutely need to have circled on your calendar for the 2026 and 2027 intakes. Honestly, getting this part right is half to battle one. The most important thing to get your head around is that there are two main cycles. If you're looking at the winter 2026 intake, you need to be applying between May and July of 2026 because classes start that October. But if you're aiming for summer 2027, then your application window is from November 2026 to January 2027, with classes starting in April. As you can see, they're two totally separate paths. And that brings us to a really important decision you have to make. Which intake is the right one for you? Are you a winter person or a summer person? It's not just about timing, it can also affect which courses are available. So let's compare them side by side to help you figure it out. This slide really lays it all out, nice and clear. So the winter intake is kind of the main event. It's bigger and usually offers more courses. The deadline you've got to remember for that one is July 15th. The summer intake is a fantastic second option with its own key deadline around January 15th. So the real question for you is, when will you have all your documents ready? Which one of these timelines gives you enough space to put together a really strong application without rushing? So you've got the timelines down, great. But how do you make sure your application actually gets to the top of the pile? I mean, it's competitive, right? But don't worry, there are some really specific things you can do to make your profile a whole lot stronger. Let's get into some pro tips that can seriously make all the difference. Okay, this is your action plan. First, start learning some German. Even just a basic A1 or B1 level can make a world of difference for finding part-time jobs and internships. Second, get on LinkedIn. Start connecting with alumni and professors from the universities you're interested in. Their advice can be gold. Third, if you're in a tech field, you have to research the TU9. That's the group of Germany's 9 leading technical universities. And fourth, look for funding. Check out DAAD scholarships. That's the German Academic Exchange Service. They have a lot of options specifically for Indian students. Oh, and a little bonus tip, get your academic transcripts translated and certified way ahead of time. That process can take a while, and it's something you absolutely have to have. All right, let's jump forward in time. Imagine you've done all the hard work. You've graduated, so what's next? This is where your decision to study in Germany really, really pays off. Let's talk about the incredible opportunities that open up for you the minute you have that degree. And this is where the long-term value just becomes so clear. After you graduate, you get a full 18-month visa just to look for a job. No pressure. You also get access to new things like the Opportunity Card, which is basically a point system designed to help skilled people like you find work. All of this creates a really clear, really strong pathway to getting a skilled worker visa, which puts you on an amazing track for long-term residency in one of the strongest economies in Europe. So, there you have it. We've talked about the why, the when, and the how. You have the complete roadmap, from hitting those deadlines to standing out from the crowd and seeing the huge payoff at the end. The only question left is the one right here on your screen. Now, what's your first step going to be to make this Germany dream a reality?